everyone, welcome back to another race. The 2023 season is finally kind of getting back and underway. The Daytona 500 for the 2023 season just finished off 2 weeks ago. And now the gloves are really going to come off. Who is going to be the favorite this season? How are we going to look on actual racetracks? Daytona, you know, you hold it wide open, full throttle, plate racing. Anybody has a chance to win the Daytona 500, but when you enter Dubai, that is a different story. Many different drivers have just the hopes that they want to try and score points or score as best of a finish as possible. Meanwhile, some of these guys like the front row, and some of these guys behind the front row are wanting to win and finish inside the top 5, and finishing in the top 10 is pretty much a must in this championship bid. Dajon Weeks has an early jump on many competitors. DJ Curtis on the outside of the front row is already 25 points behind Dajon Weeks in the championship. Did not score a top 10. Dajon Weeks, one of the early season favorites, took pole position here. And all weekend, Dajon Weeks has actually looked like one of the best cars. Cybertron Motorsports, Rodriguez Racing, Monster Energy Racing, Curtis Racing, those 4 teams have looked superior against everyone else. And meanwhile, a little further back, behind row 3, you see Vince Freeze, and, well, back in row 4, Charles Sanford for Shade Bignacco Racing, and Red Bull Racing's Anthony Marchese. They could surprise in round 2 of Dubai. Hardy's National Series and Napa Truck Series competition has been going on here at Dubai. It is a new racetrack for the Sony Cup Series competitors. Dajon Weeks, DJ Curtis, they are some of the best road course ringers. Really, a lot of these guys inside the top 10 are so good on road courses. Any one of these guys in the front could win. Meanwhile, further back, you know, some of these guys are just looking to have a good race. Nelson Reeves replacing Peter Ronjak for this race, while Peter Ronjak recovers from a back injury in the Daytona 500. The green for round 2. We are underway. All weekend here at Dubai. In turn 1. Turn 1 is a tricky corner because if you get off there like DJ Curtis and Dylan Schwellenberg did, you're going to have a load of momentum loss. You're going to lose us so much time. And look at everybody get the pass on DJ Curtis and Dylan Schwellenberg. They're already jumping back. Vince Freeze, Marchese, immediately on the jump there. They were on the inside line and followed Lamas through. Cody Lamas is already into third, but Dajon Weeks similarly slides out wide. You got to be very aggressive. You need a car that's going to have a lot of downforce and be able to get the traction down. Weeks looks like he's struggling just a little bit. Here comes Lamas in the 48 Lowe's Chevrolet to the inside of Dajon Weeks, trying to take that position away. And Cody Lamas side by side with Weeks. Davidson in the 91. His teammate DJ Curtis has been so fast this weekend. Matt Rodriguez, DJ Curtis, Dylan Schwellenberg, Cody Lamas, just to name a few of these guys up front that did not run well in the Daytona 500. They're looking to turn their season around, and it's going to be Cody Lamas leading lap 1, but Patrick Smith in the 04 is on pit road, and it looks like he's been involved in an accident. Happened with Patrick Smith. Allison Liera, who qualified on the last row of the grid, left reared, or actually right reared, Patrick Smith. And you see Edward Ziemba being spun by Diego Yepes, but Patrick Smith going airborne, flipping there. There's a new rule in the FBRL that there's supposed to be a yellow flag that comes out if a car flips and goes upside down, or if there's more than half a dozen or a dozen race cars stopped on the racetrack. But the caution flag did not fly. I don't know if the officials didn't see it and figured it was too late to react on Patrick Smith's airborne. But there was no yellow flag for the 04. 1 complete. It was Cody Lamas that led it, but it's Dajon Weeks trying to go up the middle. Brandon Beal in the 000 is on pit road as well, cutting back to the leaders, but it's Lamas losing the lead. Davidson round the outside of all of them, trying to take the advantage. Now, Zayden Davidson, he had a podium in the Daytona 500. Running in the podium position, but Weeks got his elbows out, trying to take the lead back. Davidson shuffled back to third yet again. Got Cybertron Motorsports with Curtis and Davidson. Very fast in practice. They obviously qualified well, and we're seeing them being competitive with the leaders. Cody Lamas trying to take that race lead back. He slid out wide in turn 1 on lap 2. Coming back to the line, be lap 3. A long race today. Gonna have to be very patient. Here comes Weeks back to the inside, looking to get the lead once again. Perkins in the 57 Great Lakes Motorsports car. We know Perkins is a really good, outstanding road course driver. He's in 11th position, just behind Dylan Schwallenberg, and that nearly resulted in an accident. Perkins got into the right rear of Dylan Schwallenberg, nearly spun him head on to the wall. Perkins is going to move up into the points paying positions. And, well, Great Lakes Motorsports, they are probably one of the best cars for the 57 as an open entry. And you gotta expect that Sean Perkins is likely going to end up being the open car champion at season's end. But we're gonna have to run it out and see. 3 drivers are gonna end up earning charters at season's end. And while the 57 is definitely a favorite to do that, here comes Don Capps. He started mid-pack, and he's trying to come up and fight his way towards the front and get inside the points. Marchese going to the inside of Vince Freeze. Heavy braking into turn 1. Marchese and Sanford. Sanford's going to slide out wide, I believe. Yep, slides out just a little wide. Vince Freeze very, very cautious down into turn 1. Don't know if he has an issue or not. He's actually slowing up. Don Capps. Here comes Jeffrey White. Eric DeMax. They're 3 wide around Vince Freeze. And Charles Sanford going after Sean Perkins. Bobby Jones in the 47. Who thinks this is going to be one of his best chances to try and go after a race win for this season and also here at Dubai. Bobby Jones is a very great road course ringer, so is all of these drivers in front of him. That top 5 of DJ Curtis, Matt Rodriguez, Weeks, Davidson, and Lamas, they are so good on these road courses. Kind of their bread and butter. They're also good everywhere else. That's a dynamic duo, really. Davidson in the 91. Many people believe that the Mercedes, the 19 and the 91, they found something in practice where the other Mercedes drivers really couldn't. Flipside and Uniremix Racing struggled in practice. They struggled in qualifying. And, well, they could be a factor when it's all said and done. But Curtis Racing's Cody Lamas, they want to get their season back on track. Here comes Davidson slowly but surely looking for a run to get around the 48. Weeks sliding in the 30 car, going to lose some positions. Matt Rodriguez moves up to third. Here comes Curtis and Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones trying to be very careful with his teammate, but he's going to put him 3 wide. Jones has a good car, but Weeks looks like he's struggling a little bit. Weeks looks like he had probably a qualifying car. He's probably going to have to make adjustments on pit stops. Leans over on Curtis just a little bit. Both Curtis and Weeks are so good in the Sony Cup Series. And you expect these cars, 19 and 30, car 19 and 30, to fight for the championship this season. And, well, Curtis has a lot to do, a lot to make up. And, oh, contact with Weeks, very loose, sideways. And Weeks is going to have to make some adjustments on pit stops if he wants to be competitive because he's sliding backwards and he's got an ill-handling car. But Sean Perkins has a very good handling car in the 57. Remember, Great Lakes Motorsports has an alliance with Red Bull Racing and Horizon Group. And Anthony Marchese racing against his old teammate, Dylan Schwellenberg. Another car on pit road, Hannah Allen, the 88 for Breeding Enterprises. Tried to get right there to the 88. But we have to get a replay of what happened with Hannah Allen. It's a big accident. Remember, Vince Freeze really slowed Don Capps, hooked his old teammate, affiliate teammate, really, Vince Freeze, and spun Vince Freeze around. May have been down on power or something. Mitchell Collins, Sean Harple, Silver Fox England, all piled in. Shelley and Hannah Allen. A lot of drivers were taken out in that incident. He cut away right before it was about to end. Vince Freeze, he may have been down on power. Capps was looking for the way to get the inside. Cut right back to behind Freeze, but the bumper sticks out just enough to spin some drivers around. Stinson and Young just got through there. Silver Fox minimum damage. Jesse Tunner, the defending champion of the series. He slides through, along with many other drivers. Logan Cloud's going to be out of the race in the 56. Samuel England yet again in this race weekend having issues. Mitchell Collins and James Shelley, we saw they got a big piece of that. More with Joseph Shrigley. You see Caps, he tries to cut over, cuts back behind. Vince freeze, and it's just enough to spin him around. Actually, Shrigley got rear-ended by somebody, and that's going to hurt Shrigley just enough. On board with Mitchell Collins. He was a ways back in the incident, but Collins tries to check up. Hannah Allen checked up more. Runs right in the back of him, and he got slammed by Logan Cloud. Ironic is that the Weather Channel Dodge is the one that got rear-ended by Cloud. Weather jokes. But anyway, the race continues on. A couple cars were involved in that accident, and it looks like only Patrick Smith and Brandon Beal. Looks like Logan Cloud and Hannah Allen will also be out of the race. We have 38 cars still left running, and this is a replay of something that happened earlier. Davidson is out front. Like, the draft is just so important because Davidson had a big lead, and he's not really made a mistake, but Rodriguez and Lamas have been able to draft right up behind the 91, and Davidson trying to fend off the challenge from Rodriguez. Like we mentioned at the top of the show, Rodriguez Racing, Curtis Racing, Cybertron Motorsports, and Monster Energy Racing, those 4 teams alone have looked so good this weekend. They've had the pace, and really any of those cars to that organization could very well win this race. Next car that is not one of those 4 teams is Great Lakes Motorsports. Sean Perkins definitely overperforming right now. He is in 7th position. Weeks has slid back into 8th. Actually, Perkins is up to 6th. Weeks is down to 7th. Dylan Schwellenberg sliding backwards just a little bit. Handling also a big factor for the 10. You see him sliding out. Gonna have to make some adjustments for him too. Charles Sanford for Shane Mignacco Racing, Red Bull Racing, Anthony Marchese. They make up the top 10 positions currently in the points. It's gonna be a big battle all year long to be able to scrap and get top 10s. But really, all 36 charter teams, they believe they can do it. And well, Jeffrey White down on the inside. He's a Curtis Racing teammate to Cody Lamas, and he's got the car, and he's moving his way by the 83, and he might just get by Charles Sanford too. Here comes Jeffrey White charging his way to the front. Bubbo Jones in the 44, he scored points in the Daytona 500, and his Allen Family Racing Team Dodge looking pretty sporty. Dom Caps to the inside, Ryan Acosta there too. To Max Marchese, and then here comes Jeffrey White looking to make a move on Charles Sanford. But up at the front, Matt Rodriguez has the lead, but it's going to be Davidson back to the inside. Zayden Davidson looking to take the lead back, side by side. Lamas could make a 3-wide move if he really wanted to, but he's probably not going to go for it here. Right to the back bumper of Rodriguez, and Matt Rodriguez is going to go out front in Dubai. For last weekend, Ford was the only manufacturer that did not lead a lap in the Daytona 500. And really, it's only Turner Performance Racing that's probably the only Ford that's out there on the racetrack. Not a whole lot of Fords since, you know, Hero Motorsports turned into Team Velocity, and Team Velocity left the Turner Performance camp. And Martin Motorsports left as well. Just not a whole lot of Fords. Sanders Performance Autosport is out there as well. So you got 3 chartered cars of the Fords, but really it's Turner and Shelley going to be leading the charge, and Shelley's been involved in an accident. Jesse Turner, the defending champion. A lot of people looked at this team and this organization to be the favorites for this season. So far, they have not showed a whole lot of speed for this race weekend. It is Dubai, and Jesse Turner historically has not ran that well in the first half of the season, but he is a 2-time champion of the series. We expect Turner to bounce back at some point, but it's still a long ways to go, in this race. And, well, Turner is in 19th position. White in the 11, slowly but surely reeling his way to the front, to the outside of Dajon Weeks. This is for 8th position. I think it's for 8th. Yes, around the outside of car 30. Weeks is struggling with the power on that MER Dodge. And the Daytona 500 champion loses another position on the racetrack. Throws it in there on Jeffrey White, trying to fight back. but definitely going to have to make some adjustments on pit stop. Something is wrong with Dajon Weeks' car. Dylan Schwellenberg also reporting that he's got bad handling issues. He cannot keep that car in a straight line. He's just drifting out way too far wide in these corners, really tight and loose in some ways. But Jeffrey White's hooked up, and he's going to be by Dylan Schwellenberg here soon. Curtis Racing really quick on the racetrack. Cody Lamas in the 48. He was in the lead at the stripe, but it's Matt Rodriguez back out front again. And then here comes Bobby Jones, the 47, making it 3 wide. Trying to carry the torch for Monster Energy Racing right now. While Weeks struggles with power, Bobby Jones is not struggling with that. He's coming to the front, looking to get in the third. Cody Lamas fighting back against Matt Rodriguez, and it's Cody Lamas taking the lead once again. But Rodriguez had to drive off the corner. Curtis Racing versus Rodriguez Racing. And Matt Rodriguez, it was a hard season for him last year. And Matt Rodriguez wants nothing more than to fight for the championship in the Sony Cup Series. 2020 was a very good year for him. Almost came away with the title that season. And ever since then, 2021 and 2022, he's just kind of fell short to his teammate Dylan Schwellenberg. And while it elevates the team, having Dylan Schwellenberg there, Rodriguez himself wants to be up there winning races and fighting for the championship. And this has got to be a big confidence booster for Matt Rodriguez, taking the lead from Lamas, doing a hard-fought battle. And it's Bobby Jones into the podium places and left to chase down Lamas and Rodriguez. Caps in the 6th, just past Dajon Weeks. Weeks is outside of the top 10. Charles Sanford, Bobo Jones, Ryan Acosta having outstanding runs. They are right here in the mix of this for the top 10. Eric Tabax in car 18, trying to chase down and hang up Jeffrey White. White's got a good car. You know, Dylan Schwellenberg doing his own to try and race with Sean Perkins. The fact that Perkins is behind the front 5, who are probably the best cars, hooked up right now. Very outstanding run by Sean Perkins in Great Lakes Motorsports. Still a long ways to go. Lamas again going after Matt Rodriguez. A big battle between the two for car 9 and car 48. But car 9 does not want to give this up. Runs Cody Lamas a little bit wide, but gives him enough room. Actually, he gave him a lot of room, really, from what a lot of drivers are doing. But Matt Rodriguez has such a good car. Mitchell Collins has gone a lap down. You see Zayden Davidson kind of falling away just a little bit. Maybe burn the tires off. DJ Curtis not able to stay with Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones is reeling in the front 2. And we could get a battle, a 3-way battle for the lead. Bobby Jones, we know how good he is. Remember last year in Canada? He was driving for Cybertron Motorsports and the 79 car, I think it was. And, well, Bobby Jones very well could have won that day. A lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas for Bobby Jones. And here for Monster Energy Racing, this team is really a championship caliber organization now compared to what he was doing in 2021 for them, trying to build that organization up when Bobby Jones was last there. And, well, many people believe Bobby Jones should win races and fight for the title this season. And as it looks so far for round 2, if you're a Rodriguez, Curtis, Monster Energy Racing, those 4 teams, Monster Energy Racing, Curtis Racing, Rodriguez Racing, Cybertron Motorsports, if you're a fan of one of those 4 organizations, they look really good to start the season. And here comes Lamas fighting back against Rodriguez. But it's just so fun to see these guys just trading positions out there on the racetrack. Bobby Jones is there. He is properly there with the front 2. I think a lot of people at home are cheering for Bobby Jones to see him finally in a competitive car full time. And Jones, kind of like Zayden Davidson just a little bit. And Davidson's an old teammate to Bobby Jones, but for a while they weren't in competitive equipment, and here they are. And while Bobby Jones and Zayden Davidson, they kind of hold the bar a little low compared to what their teammates of Dajon Weeks and DJ Curtis may hold. But those two organizations, Cybertron Motorsports and Monster Energy Racing, they're championship caliber. And I would not hold it against either Davidson or Bobby Jones to compete for the championship this season. But Rodriguez and Lamas, like you're seeing, hard battle for the lead. These fans are loving it. Rodriguez continuing to fend off the challenge from Lamas, but Lamas again challenging side by side. While further back, Jeffrey White continuing to pick his way through the field. Curtis Racing has some great cars this weekend. Jeffrey White passes Dylan Schwellenberg. He's into the top 5. A problem for DJ Curtis. Car 19 is down on power. DJ Curtis is reporting that he's down on power in car 19. Car 19, the engine, I think he may be down a cylinder. Really struggling out there. He is now outside of the top 10. He had been free falling through the field. And that's a shame for DJ Curtis. You can see him. That engine could go at any point. Wow, DJ Curtis being told loss of power on the radio. And that's going to be another race where he's going to have to do all he can to get as good of a finish as possible. But it's going to be no points for Curtis. I don't think they're going to be able to fix that. The car is down on power. The equivalent of being a Gunkelman Family Enterprises car on the racetrack. DJ Curtis going to do all he can to finish out this one. Oh, we basically lost one key contender in this race. DJ Curtis is still out there, but he made a pit stop, trying to make adjustments for his car. It's Rodriguez in the 9, with Lamas and Bobby Jones, the front 3 that have pulled a big gap over Zayden Davidson. Jeffrey White is in 5th, Dylan Schwellenberg, Dom Capps, Sean Perkins, Eric Damax, and Bobo Jones. That is the top 10. Outside of the top 10 is Ryan Acosta. Then Dajon Weeks in 12th position, Charles Sanford, Jesse Tunner, Anthony Marchese, Dane Stinson, then Shade Eves. Nelson Reeves is having a great day so far. He started pretty much 38th on the racetrack or something like that. Joseph Shrigley, Dylan Young. That is the top 20 of the drivers so far. But, oh, Bobby Jones! Bobby Jones, the engine has expired. Another driver with mechanical failures out there on the racetrack. The Monster Energy Racing Dodge has blown up. And well, down on power for the 30 and completely no power for the 47. What a shame. Bobby Jones, we were just talking about how for Bobby Jones, he's got such a good car, fighting for the leaders and in contention to race for his first Sony Cup Series checkered flag. And he's going to be out of the race. Replay what happened. Bobby Jones, he was racing with Cody Lamas for 2nd position. And Jones right there on the back bumper of the leaders. The engine just lets go. It just got too hot. And Dubai being very cruel to some of these teams. A lot of mechanical failures out there for some of these drivers. Meanwhile, at the lead, Lamas and Rodriguez are going to continue on and going at it for the lead. Cody Lamas takes the advantage over Rodriguez. There's another incident on the racetrack. Allison Liera again gonna turn another driver at the same part on the racetrack where Patrick Smith went spinning. And Liera, that might be looked at and really, what was that? You know, lap 1, she spun Patrick Smith. Cal Farrell now goes for a spin off the bumper of the Allied Toyota. And well, Liera taking no prisoners today. Driver that's kind of came to life as the race has came to him. Dom Capps. Capps, who finished 10th, actually finished 5th at Daytona. And Capps right now running in 5th position. A solid day in the office right now for Capps. If he could get 10 points on the board here in Dubai. Jeffrey White, you know, some of these guys, like Capps on up, you got to think they're still thinking they could win this race. And we still have pit stops to do. Should be a one-stop. Cody Lamas and Matt Rodriguez, they are definitely the favorite right now. But how are pit stops going to fare? Will strategy end up mixing this race up? will Davidson on back be able to make adjustments and be able to race with the leaders? Not entirely sure how this race is going to unfold. Rodriguez and Lamas, the best cars so far that are left up here in the top two. Davidson, he had the speed early, but can he regain that speed once again and go longer with that pace? He's in third. White, Caps, Dylan Schwellenberg still holding solid right here with Sean Perkins at 6th and 7th. Bobo Jones having a great day right now, though, for Allen Family Racing Team. Did not really expect this team to really be the lead Dodge. You know, I mean, Monster Energy Racing, they're having their own issues, but Bobo Jones for AFRT, they're actually having a great day. And the rookie for Bobo Jones, he's missing his rookie stripe. Missing the rookie stripe in the back of that 44, but Bobo Jones is a very great race car driver from the Hardee's National Series. Eric Tamax just behind in 9th. Jesse Turner has moved his way into the points positions in the top 10. It's taken him a little bit, but some problems by some of the key contenders has moved himself into 10th position. Told that Diego Yepes has had a mechanical failure as well. The engine got too hot underneath the 77 engine under the hood of that race car, and Yepes is going to have to get a tow back to the pits, and that's going to be a long tow back. Light in the 11 has closed in on Zayden Davidson. This is for 3rd position. And Jeffrey White looking to put Curtis Racing, both of their race cars, in the top 3. And Jeffrey White needs a good season to really show that what he can do in the Sony Cup Series. In his junior year in the Sony Cup Series, Jeffrey White puts his Curtis Racing Chevrolet into 3rd, and now has to set his eyes on the leading front two. They're on pit road. Cody Lamas and Matt Rodriguez have decided to hit pit road. Dom Cap stays out. I think he's the only leader. Well, Sean Perkins did as well. Eric Demax is in. There's Dylan Schwellenberg, Jeffrey White. This is the money stop. This is going to be the one and only stop that you'll see these leaders do. These guys are cutting the race in half. And there goes Cody Lamas leaving pit road, and a big advantage over Matt Rodriguez. Jeffrey White in the 11's not going to be too far behind the 9 of Matt Rodriguez. Oh, and Diego Yepes rejoining the race just ahead of Jeffrey White. And there's Zayden Davidson. Davidson actually had pitted a lap earlier. Did not see that. But Davidson gets the jump on Jeffrey White. And Davidson will be behind Matt Rodriguez, but it's Lamas that got the money stop there, way out ahead of Matt Rodriguez. Caps leaving pit road. Sean Perkins just behind in the 57, the 6. There he is. Caps in comparison to Zayden Davidson, who is racing with Matt Rodriguez. Caps will have a one-lap fresher tires on Davidson, Rodriguez, and Lamas. But it's going to be Cody Lamas with the race lead by a good margin over Matt Rodriguez. There was an accident. Dom Caps in the 6 has been spun by Jeffrey White into the inside wall. And Caps, who was eyeing up a possible race win this afternoon, has been taken out of the points positions and now has a flat right front tire and has to pit again. Heartbreak on pit road for Dom Caps. He rejoins the race, but out of contention. Zayden Davidson, Matt Rodriguez are on a manhunt right now for Cody Lamas. Davidson looks very fast, and so does Rodriguez. They are closing that gap on Cody Lamas. They made some good adjustments. They may have got Cody Lamas out front, but will he be able to hold them off is the big question. A little further back, Jeffrey White in 4th. He's about 6 seconds back. Dylan Schwellenberg's now in 5th. 6th position is Sean Perkins. Perkins at the 57 has a great chance this afternoon to score points for Great Lakes Motorsports. And if only this car had a charter, that would pretty much seal the deal. It's going to be very hard to score big points. We talked about it a little bit in the Discord over the last race at Daytona. Dylan Young, Allison Liera. Can they hang on in the top 33 in order points with the 7th and 8th place finish at Daytona? It's going to be very difficult. They actually finished decently high in that top 10, but It's always going to be a battle. You got to have to get as much points as possible. Car 57, kind of in their own little race each and every week of the open cars. And Will Perkins looks as though he's going to get 10 points for the open car championship and try and pull ever so more out ahead in that open car championship battle. There's Dom Caps, like we mentioned. Bobo Jones really loose. He's in 7th position. Great day for Bobo Jones right now. Jesse Tunner not really where he wants to be. He wants to be racing for the win, but he's in the top 10. Eric DeMax in 9th, and no longer in the top 10 is Dajon Weeks. Charles Sanford for Shea Bignacco Racing has got that 8 car back in the top 10. Now Dane Stinson. Stinson in the 96 passes Ryan Acosta, and Dane, he has moved his way up in the 12th position just behind Dajon Weeks and Dane Stinson. And don't look further back, Nelson Reeves and Peter Onjak's car. They are in 12th and 14th position when Dane Stinson could get points here in Dubai. And Nelson Reeves got to stand up and give him a round of applause for driving in Peter Onjak's place. Could get that 4 car some points on the board here in Dubai. Lamas trying to go around the outside of lap car Vince Freeze. Freeze had high hopes. This could be a big day for him. Was down on power. The heat here in Dubai is on really high for it being in March. But here comes Davidson. He has fought and clawed his way back to the front. And Davidson to the inside, now the outside. Mercedes versus Chevrolet. And well, this should be a big day for Mercedes. They want to win here in Dubai. And Chevrolet, no doubt an American manufacturer. Chevrolet, Cody Lamas side by side with Zayden Davidson. Matt Rodriguez just not that far behind. How about Dylan Schwallenberg? Schwallenberg has moved his way by of Jeffrey White. And now just under 6 seconds back. Rodriguez racing 3rd and 4th right now. And Davidson in the 91 pushes Vince Freeze out ahead. Almost was clear of Cody Lamas. But it's Lamas going to get the lead back. Right in the back bumper, Vince Freeze. They fixed that race car. They're 3 wide with the lap car to the inside. Zayden Davidson looking to take the race lead back, and yes, he will. Zayden Davidson. Oh, but here comes Cody Lamas. Back to the outside, but Cal Farrell is there. Farrell in the 33 going to hold up Cody Lamas just enough. And it's Zayden Davidson taking the lead here in Dubai. Schwallenberg in the 10 has been closing the gap in the last couple of laps. He is now within 3 seconds of the race lead. With about 10 laps to go, Dylan Schwallenberg is definitely in the hunt for the win today. After not scoring any points at Daytona, Dylan Schwallenberg wants to get up here and win this race. The win is still on the cards for anybody inside the top 4 for sure. Jeffrey White has not really had the speed to close up on the leaders, but he rides in 5th. Sean Perkins, a big day for Great Lakes Motorsports. They have to be just absolutely buzzing with excitement. 6th place right now, very loose. Needs to try and hang on these last 10 laps. Bobo Jones, Eric DeMax, Jesse Tunner. And there you see the battle for 10th. It is Charles Sanford, Dane Stinson, Nelson Reeves now. Dajon Weeks, he has just not fixed the handle on that race car. And Weeks in the 30, I don't know if he'll be scoring a top 10 today. Really struggling with that 30. But the rookie, Dane Stinson, looking to get a top 10 here. Racing with Charles Sanford. Crash! James Sorfox just spun, but Cody Lamas just got into James Sorfox. Lamas was racing for the lead, and he just took a big beating to his race car. He slammed the inside wall, and now here comes Matt Rodriguez trying to chase down. Oh, he's on the corner panel of Cody Lamas. Lamas has a ton of damage now. Rodriguez really made a shallow entrance there to turn 1. He's going to allow his teammate to get right to the back bumper. Cody Lamas, though, has a ton of damage. The race win's probably gone now for Cody Lamas. That damage looks like it's going to be kind of severe on these straight lines. But Cody Lamas got right in the right rear of James Sorfox. Play of what happened. Davidson was fixing to lap James Sorfox. Silver Fox was pretty slow out there. He's trying to just get as good a finish as possible. But Llamas actually just comes up and right rears James Silver Fox, and they both take a big hit to the inside. Gonna have to get a better view of how hard a hit that was for both drivers. You get a helicopter view of this, but Davidson makes the pass easy on the inside. And Llamas, it just looks like he comes over, gets Silver Fox, and, well, not a too bad of a hit for Cody Llamas, and Silver Fox does take a pretty massive hit. I wouldn't be surprised if the team just parks the 34 after that. But for Cody Llamas, that's a big hit for Cody Llamas, so he needs to try and just get as much out of this race as possible. The race win might not be on the cards anymore. Angle of the incident. Big hit for Silver Fox, but for Cody Llamas, one of the favorites to win the race here today at Dubai. It's probably not going to happen now. Llamas has done a good job this last lap to hold off both Rodriguez Racing Camrys. It's allowed Zayden Davidson to get just a little bit out ahead. Not too far out ahead, though. Llamas doing a good defensive job. But here comes Dylan Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg has passed his teammate Matt Rodriguez. And Rodriguez, who is one of the best cars all day, has now his teammate, Dylan Schwellenberg, who has struggled today, round the outside of Llamas, round the outside of Ziemba. Ziemba really pushing up into Dylan Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg, who almost got turned by Perkins in that same corner earlier in the race, has taken over second position on the outside. On the outside of Cody Llamas, takes it away. And Dylan Schwellenberg suddenly is in the fight to win here at Dubai. I don't think Schwellenberg was really all that fast, to be honest with you, all day long. That crew did something on that round of pit stops, adjusted on that 10 car, and Dylan Schwellenberg very well could run down Zayden Davidson for the win. And that would be huge because Zayden Davidson, he comes off of a podium at Daytona. And Davidson very well could lead this race as the championship leader. He just needs, where does Davidson need to finish compared to, Dajon Weeks? Eric DeMax as well. DeMax finished just up ahead of him by 3 points. And Davidson, well, he just needs, I think he needs third or better to be able to take it away. Might need fourth or better for Zayden Davidson. Either way, it's looking good for Zayden Davidson to finally take the championship lead in the Sony Cup Series. He's never led the championship in the Sony Cup Series ever in his Sony Cup Series career. Dylan Schwellenberg in the 10, hunting him down, looking to get 25 points on the board. Currently 18. Did not do well, did not get any points at all in Daytona. Schwellenberg, Rodriguez. Rodriguez to the inside now, trying to make it both. Rodriguez Racing Cars, second and third. For Schwellenberg, Rodriguez, Llamas, Jeffrey White, Sean Perkins, Jesse Turner, and Dane Stenson all inside the top 10. They did not score a top 10 at Daytona. They're looking to get it here. For Nelson Reeves in the 4, you have to give a big attaboy to that team. The fact that this rookie just steps in, Nelson Reeves, one of his first races, one of the first few races in the Sony Cup Series, and jumps in the car immediately. And while Dom Caps, his teammate, had issues earlier, Caps could have fought for the win, to be honest with you. And Nelson Reeves just trying to give that team something to be proud of. Outside of the top 10 with about 6 to go. Sanford, Reeves, they're trying to get a top 10. Weeks, Acosta, Marchese, the top 15 with Nelson Reeves, Shade Eves, and, well, Shelley's a lap down, but Lars Van Schaik and Dylan Young, 17th and 18th, a pretty respectable run by those drivers right now inside the top 20. Joseph Strigley in 19th, and Sean Harple, they've struggled. They were involved in some accidents. Cole Baker just outside of the top 20. DJ Curtis is in 22nd. He's been down on power today. Will Goss in the 51. He's struggling today. Francois Chastain, he is beating Charlie Smith that is big in the Open Car Championship. 13 and the 31 racing against each other. Samuel England, there's Gatlin Downey, the second Fisher Motorsports entry for this race. And Downey's actually beating Allison Liera, who's had a very eventful race. And Downey doing a good job out there. And Mitchell Collins in the 43 is also a lap down. We're coming to 5 to go. Dylan Schwellenberg continues to cut that lead down. He is so fast right now. Definitely going to get there. You got to think Dylan Schwellenberg. Is Zayden Davidson holding back? Schwellenberg's going to unleash everything possible to try and win this race. He needs it in the championship. A big 25 points on the board for him would be redemption from Daytona. As much redemption as possible. That 10 team won everything they could have other than the pole and the 500. Anything that had a checkered flag, that had a race lap in it, that 10 car was winning, except the Daytona 500. He was involved in a couple accidents. Well, he's there now. Dylan Schwellenberg and Zayden Davidson. And not to bash Zayden Davidson, but a lot of the time he has struggled to beat Dylan Schwellenberg head-to-head in Sony Cup Series action in the past. But Mercedes and Toyota, Cybertron Motorsports and Rodriguez Racing, they have been very fast this weekend. And many people have pointed so far this weekend, Curtis Racing, Monster Energy Racing, Rodriguez, and Cybertron. Those should be the 4 that fight for the title this season. Turn Performance Racing possibly with Jesse Turner. You see him in 8th position. Dom Capps has been impressive. We're not entirely sure how Team Velocity, Martin Motorsports with Vince Rees, maybe even Red Bull Racing are going to do this season. But Dylan Schwellenberg, where is the move going to come? Can he make the move down in this corner? Not quite. Davidson's going to have to be as aggressive as possible to keep that 10 car back. Schwellenberg is looking to the outside. He had a great final exit, and he might do the crossover. Davidson kind of comes up to block his line. Davidson's going to do all he can. A relatively decent exit off turn 1. Dylan Schwellenberg's going to have the draft around this course. The draft is so important. You can get a run on somebody and just pick your line to where you want to make a move. A hard braking point to the inside for Dylan Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg and Davidson. Davidson would love to get a race win here, but he may have to settle for second. Davidson wants to go back to victory lane. It was such a poor season for Zayden Davidson last year, but it's a brand new year for Davidson. Looking to get back-to-back podiums for Zayden Davidson, but he's just lost the lead. Dylan Schwellenberg taking the lead here in Dubai. Coming back around to be 3 laps to go. Does Zayden Davidson have anything for Dylan Schwellenberg? They're back as we continue to close up on the end of this race. DeMax has passed Bobo Jones to move up into the 7th position. Every point is going to matter in the championship. Jones trying to fend off all the challenges. He wants to finish inside the top 10. Turner in the 17, trying to get all he can. Here comes Stetson to the inside for 9th place. Further back, though, 11th and 12th, Nelson Reeves, Charles Sanford. They are losing touch with 10th position. And their hopes of scoring points today slipping just ever so more to the stripe. It'll be the white flag one more time around here at Dubai. Dylan Schwellenberg just slowly but surely pulling the advantage on Zayden Davidson. Rodriguez in 3rd. Cody Lamas trying to limp that car around. Jeffrey White just got by him, and Jeffrey White is up into 4th place. Cody Lamas right now getting a solid 10 points on the board. Sean Perkins, what a day for Great Lakes Motorsports. 6th place would be so impressive. But further back from 7th on down to 10th, it's a scrap for any point you can possibly get here. Eric DeMax, Bobo Jones, Jesse Turner, and Dane Stetson. Stetson looking to put a move on the defending champion. Stetson's into 9th. Turner back to 10th. Charles Sanford trying to close. Stetson just blew up. Dane Stetson just blew up on the last lap. That's another Dodge engine having an engine failure. That just allowed Charles Sanford to move up into the top 10. Well, Dane Stetson's not going to score points here, but Monster Energy Racing down on power with Dajon Weeks. Bobby Jones just blew up, and now Dane Stetson. A lot of engine failures here in Dubai. But rounding the final corner, it's Dylan Schwellenberg's day in the sun here in Dubai. Dylan Schwellenberg wins for round 2 and putting his championship ambitions on the mark. Zayden Davidson takes the championship lead with a second place finish here. He's never led the championship ever in the Sony Cup Series, but second place is going to do it for him to get into the championship lead. Matt Rodriguez completes a double podium for Rodriguez Racing. Curtis Racing rounding out the top 5. Curtis Racing showing that they have a real presence in this championship fight for this year. Cody Lamas, a very disappointing run for 5th, and you got to think for 5th place to be disappointing. That says a lot for how they've came from last season. Last season they barely ever scored a top 5. But for Lamas with a lot of damage, limping that car back to 5th. Big day for them. Sean Perkins, Great Lakes Motorsports, thrilled, absolutely jumping off the pit wall with that run. 6th place for Perkins, showing that Great Lakes Motorsports has the potential to be a real good, solid team in the future. Eric Tamax comes out in 7th place, getting 6 points on the board. Bobo Jones gets back-to-back finishes in the points for Allen Family Racing Team. Jesse Turner, a poor race in the Daytona 500. He gets 2 points on the board, just every little point he can. And Charles Sanford was there to pick up the pieces in this one for Shea Binyaka Racing, gets 10th place. But give a round of applause to Nelson Reeves, 11th place. 11th place for Nelson Reeves. Almost got a point for their effort, but right there, just on the outside of the points, is going to be their best result so far this season for Car 4. A little bit outside of the top 10, you see. Also, give a round of applause to Lars Van Schaik, top 15 run. Huge for Fitzwater Racing Team. But as everyone comes down pit road, Dylan Schwellenberg jumps with everybody else at 0 points, all the way up to 25 points for the win. Zayden Davidson, 2nd place, gets 18 points, which means Davidson's going to leave with 33 points in the championship. And Eric Tamax, you see him down there, 7th at 6 points. So it's not quite good enough to beat Dajon Weeks and Dylan Schwellenberg today. Dylan Schwellenberg is now tied for 2nd in points after not scoring in Daytona. But it's Zayden Davidson by 8 points over Weeks and Dylan Schwellenberg. The championship fight, we've kind of seen it this weekend. You know, it looked like the powerhouse teams that was Rodriguez Racing, Cybertron Motorsports, Curtis Racing, Monster Energy Racing, those 4 teams look so good. But how is Turn Performance Racing going to rebound? That's going to be a big question mark. How about Team Velocity? You know, Dom Capps looked very fast. And Vince Freeze, you know, for Martin, you know, they were fast until he had some reliability issues. Maybe Anthony Marchese at Red Bull. Not entirely sure. James Sorfox, Sean Harple for UER. They had a poor day today. They have a lot to learn from Dubai. But mechanical failures plagued a lot of drivers. It was very hot here in Dubai. But that's the nature of the game, really. But that's your top 10. We'll get you the rest of your finishing results from today's race and the championship standings after round 2.